Hello friends, and welcome back to r/IDOWorkHereLady. Today we have 3 great stories from this topic, so sit comfortably and let's get started. Our first story. Man refuses to let me write his information down. I'm slightly introverted, so I don't approach people. Last summer break, my father gave me an idea that I could help my aunt's clinic. I agreed as this would be a great opportunity to learn how to interact with strangers. She runs a weight loss clinic. I went on the first day and asked what I could do to help her. Now, my aunt's clinic has 4 rooms. 1 is there for the staff, 2 are there for my aunt and my uncle, and 1 is there as a kitchen where they have a person to serve water, tea, etc. to the guests and make food if needed, as my aunt hates outside food. I was 15 at the time, and it was pretty hot, and I generally don't go to formal places, so I went in cargo shorts and a t-shirt. Later, I realized that I was supposed to wear formal clothes. I wore it starting from the second day. Anyway, my aunt shows me some cards and gives me a system to work on in the lobby. She explains to me that I basically have to pick up calls for those who wish to meet her and message people asking for their diet, etc. Now, the work was easy, and she had a nice staff of 4 people. I knew all of them from before, as I'd been to her clinic many times. Now I'm managing her schedule, and everything goes well until about 1 o'clock. That's when a man, let's call him Ben, messages me, and I see the message on the computer. Ben tells me that he's tried calling a few times, but the line is busy. I look at the landline and realize I didn't put it in its place. Now, being the type of introverted person I am, I message him instead of calling him. I tell him it was my mistake that I forgot to put the landline in its place, and he tells me to be careful next time and says that if my aunt is in her clinic, he would like to meet and talk to her. He's gotten the clinic's number from his friend and wanted to start dieting. I said that, ma'am, my aunt, will be in the clinic until 5 o'clock and he can come in whenever he likes. He says that he'll be there in about an hour. So fast forward 1 hour and my aunt realizes that she had to give some cash to one of the staff. She checked her purse and found that she was running short on cash, so told me she'll be getting money from a nearby ATM machine to give to one of her staff. So now it's about 2 o'clock and it's lunchtime for the staff members. I ate something my aunt made at noon, so I wasn't hungry at all. The staff members get in the kitchen and start chatting. The kitchen's pretty far away from the main entrance and lobby, and you can't hear things unless someone's talking loudly. Now Ben enters, a few minutes later. He's wearing pants and a blue shirt. He's pretty fat, about 110 kilograms, no offense intended. He looks about 40 years old. He looks around, sees me at the reception while I was doing something on the computer, and this is how the conversation goes. Me. Standing from chair. Good morning, sir. How are you today? Are you Ben? Ben. Yes, my name's Ben. Where's the dietitian? Me. Ma'am has gone out to withdraw some cash. She'll be here shortly. Ben. Okay. Sits down in the chair. Me, grabbing a form and pulling a chair to sit with Ben. Ben looks at my clothes and smirks. Me. I ignore it since I don't want to confront him. Me. So, sir, please tell me your full name, address, etc. Ben. No, I just want to speak with the dietitian. You don't even work here. And he snatched the form and the pen. Me. I do work here. Ben. No, shut up and don't annoy me. Me. I don't want confrontation since I don't interact with people like this much, so I decide to ignore his attitude and the fact that he snatched the form and pen out of my hands. Ben. Filling in the form wrong since the form is supposed to be filled for keeping a record. He just fills it however he likes. He has no instructions since it's supposed to be filled by the staff. Me. His handwriting's pretty bad, so it's not readable. I can also only make out a few words. Me. Sir, I'm sorry to say, but I can't make out what you're writing. Ben, in a sarcastic tone. So, you don't even work here. Me, for a second time, I do work here, and if I'm not able to tell ma'am who you are and what you need help on and what you're allergic to, etc., she won't be able to help you. Ben, for the last time, kid, stop annoying me. You have no manners. I can confirm that you are effing illiterate and a school dropout. F off. Me. My heart rate is increasing like hell and I have anxiety at its highest level right now. I just get up and go to the washroom to wash my face and review what just happened. After a minute, I go out to see that my aunt is just entering through the door. Now I try to be cool, but I couldn't. Me. Grabbing the card, which Ben kept on another chair. Ma'am, this person's waiting for you. I'll just explain the situation so that you can give him a diet. Aunt. Okay, come into my office. Me, explaining what happened. Aunt. This attitude is not okay. You should have said something to him and stopped him from shouting. Me. I didn't want to confront him. Aunt. Okay, come with me. Me and my aunt go to the lobby and my aunt starts talking with Ben in a commanding voice. My aunt's very nice but can literally kill people with words if she needs to. Aunt. This boy is with me. He was helping me in the clinic. If you treat a kid like this, then you have absolutely no manners and I cannot help people like you. Now, you need to leave. Ben, but, Aunt, get up and leave. One more word and I'm calling security. Ben gets up, gives me an angry stare, and leaves. Aunt, drink some water and rest, then go home. You've helped me enough for your first day. Aunt started to walk away, then turned in my direction and said this. Also, if someone's treating you like crap, kick them out. Me, nodding. Aunt, good. I then go to the kitchen where the other staff members are having their lunch. I drink some water and chat with them for a while. I tell them about what happened with Ben, and they all had a good laugh. They told me that my aunt has kicked out so many people who treated them like crap. Good on your aunt for taking care of you and her employees. That shows great character and not something many employers would do. And our next story. Substitute para tries to get security to kick me off the playground. So this happened to me about 2 years ago. I was working as an AmeriCorps member, doing tutoring and mentor stuff. I often led games outside with the K-3 kids during recess. Most days I'd wear one of those bright yellow vests with a school zone sign on the back, but since my vest had gotten torn in half, it's a long story, I went out without it. I didn't think it was that big of a deal since all the kids knew me and so did all the paras. Well, it turns out that one of the paras had to leave early for some reason, and she had a sub come in. The sub hadn't been to our school before, so she didn't know me and just saw a short, pudgy girl, I was 18 at the time, come through the gate and over to a big group of kids. Instantly, all the kids started running since they knew our game today. It was sort of a scavenger hunt that would then turn into capture the flag once they found all the little tags. While the group was off, I went to go talk to one of the smaller kids sitting on a bench nearby. She'd been told by some of the boys that she couldn't play because she was too small and a girl. So I knelt down so we were on eye level. I was holding her hands to give her encouragement. That's when the sub comes over. Hey, what are you doing? I thought she was yelling at the kid at first, so I hadn't paid much attention. I just kept talking to the girl I was giving encouragement to. I gave her a hug since she wanted one, and I got up, and that's when the sub came up and grabbed me by the arm. I'm talking to you. What are you doing here? This is a closed campus. Visitors aren't allowed. Me, being an idiot, more focused on the actual rules than the mix-up. Actually, while it's a closed campus, visitors are allowed. They just need proper ID and a visitor's pass. Sub, thinking I'm talking back, and you clearly don't have either, so get out before I call security. Me, still oblivious to what's going on. Why would you need to call security? Why should I leave? And can you let go? You're hurting my arm. Sub, pulling out her borrowed radio, I'll call security. So I was about to go into a full-blown panic when one of the other paras came running over. He was a bigger guy and looked like he was about to ram into the sub, stopping just short. We'll call him Mr. S. Sub. Oh, Mr. S, I found this teen sneaking onto campus and scaring the kids. Please call security. Mr. S, confused. What are you talking about? She's one of our staff members. Sub. No, she came from outside the gates and she's not wearing a vest. Plus the kids were all running from her. Me, pulling my arm out of her grip, I came around from dropping off public library books across the street during my break, and they ran because they know our game starts as soon as I'm outside. The sub was pretty surprised, and Mr. S ended up escorting her back inside. I don't remember what exactly happened to her, but I didn't see her again after that. Kinda glad, though. She left a pretty nasty bruise on my arm. I'm homeless? So I work at a Starbucks right next to a car wash, and they're both located pretty close to the highway. My partner works at the car wash next to the Starbucks, and I got a job at the Starbucks since we have to share a car at the moment. A lot of days I'm at work early because there's no sense taking him to work, then driving home, only to drive right back. I was there about an hour and a half early this day because I'd already run the errands I needed to for the day while he was at work. I'd gotten up earlier and hadn't been able to sleep due to my wrist hurting due to carpal tunnel. This is important for later. So here I am, sleep-deprived, in my already covered in sugar due to working at Starbucks jacket, my bag beside me with a bunch of art supplies that I carry around, my apron inside the bag, a dirty shirt that I'd thrown on, and a depressed look on my face. I also wore a hat, black beanie every day to work, so today was no different. I realized with my wrist brace I couldn't draw, and my phone was about to die, so I'd be bored for another hour and a half. I sit there with my bag beside me and nothing to do for about 45 minutes before I hear someone say, "Excuse me," and tap me on the shoulder. I turn around and a Santa Claus-looking man, not dressed the way, just like with a white gray beard and all that, he was standing there, and the conversation proceeded as follows. SC. Sorry, have you eaten? Me. Oh, yeah? I hadn't, but I get free food every day at work, so I was going to anyway. SC. Oh, you have? Well, I wanted to give you this. Get yourself a coffee, he said with a small laugh, and he handed me $10 because Starbucks is expensive AF. Me. Oh, thanks so much. That's kind of how I acted when we got tips, until he walked away. I then realized I was just given $6 to eat/drink from a random guy. From his perspective, I looked like a young, depressed, homeless, feminine teen on the side of the highway, even though I was sitting at my place of work. I hope you enjoyed today's stories, and we'll see you soon.